Good morning, guys. Welcome to the course of Fundamental of Operations Management. And today, I would like to discuss with you with the topic of using operations to compete. So this is the introductions of this course of Fundamental of Operations Management. So we have to know at the beginning, we have to understand what is the operations management. So operations management is a systematic design, directions, and control of processes that transform inputs into services and products for internal and also for the external, which is related to the customer. So there will be input, process, and the output. And it is quite related to the supply chain management. So what is the supply chain management? It is the synchronizations of a firm processes with those of its suppliers and customers to match the flow of materials, services, and information with the customer demand. I will touch about the supply chain management in the following slide. And then back to the operations management and how it is important in the organizations. We have to understand the integrations between different functional areas of a business. So for any business that produces products and services, so there will be three basic components. The first one is the materials and service inputs. The second one is the products and the service output. And the third one is the service revenue or sales revenue. So from the materials as an input to be the product and service output, there will be operations. This is the core component of this course, which is we have to understand what's the operations management. And operation itself has a definition of how to translate materials and services into output. And also, after we have the product as the output, so we need marketing people to generate sales of output to have sales revenue. And then from the sales revenue become the beginning with the process, which is to provide material and service input. We have finance. The finance itself has a job to acquire financial resources and capital for the input. And also we have the support functions in a company. We have accounting, we have information system, human resources, and engineering. So in this framework, we know that in a company, there will be closed loop, there will be interrelationship between departments and between our divisions. And if we want to look at the process view, again, guys, so this is the relationship between input, process, and output. And more importantly, we need to know the processes and the operations. So processes and operations have a very critical role because this is the mediator between input and output. So if we can control the process in our operations, then there will be efficient output and also efficient input. So if it is very efficient, then that will be beneficial for the customer. And so before we go into details, what is very critical to the customers. So again, this is a contrast between what is product and then what is services. So product is more on physical, durable output and can be inventory and also a low customer contact and long response time, capital intensive, quality easily measured. And in other hands, we have services. Services is more intangible and the output cannot be inventoried, high customer contact, short response time, labor intensive, and quality cannot be measured. Both are very important, and we as a customer we buy product and also services. And if we go into the supply chain view, and again, this is also very important, understanding of the basic concept of supply chain. And what is actually the supply chain? Supply chain is its activity in a process should add value to the preceding activities, waste and unnecessary costs should be eliminated. So we try to increase the value added and then try to decrease the non-value added. And the starting point is suppliers. We have external suppliers, and then the end point is the external customer, the end user. So from suppliers to the customers, there will be supplier relationship process, new product and service development, other fulfillment process, and also the customer relationship process. And then we can see one by one. And then we talk about supplier relationship process. It is a process to select the suppliers of services, materials, informations, and facilitate the flow of this into the firm. In a company, we have procurement department, which is responsible to provide products, materials, especially materials, and how to build a good relationship with the vendors, with the suppliers. And then next one, we have new service and product development. Once we have the materials, then the next jobs for the company is how to conduct process to design and develop new services or product from the customer or market input. And then we go to the order fulfillment process. It is a process to produce and deliver services and product to the external customers. And at the end, we have a customer relationship process, and then how it is a process of how to identify, attract, and build relationship, and also retain the existing customer and facilitate the placement of order. So if this flow going smoothly, then the company will have a good business. So also we have support processes like accounting, human resources, engineering information system that provide vital resources and input to the core processes. Back to the operation strategy, specify the mean by which operation implement corporate strategy and help build customer-driven firm. And corporate strategy provide the overall directions that serve as a framework, as a guidance for carrying out the organization function. Next one, yes, this is very important chart. This is very important framework. And when we start with the corporate strategy, what the visions, what the capacity, competencies, and then the global strategy, and etc. And then we have a priority like cost, quality, time, and flexibility. This is the keyword for any companies that want to serve better to the customer. So we have to look at cost, quality, time, and flexibility, but sometimes it's not enough. Why? Once we put it all competitive priorities into product and services, and then we provide to the customer this one, and there will be a performance gaps. What is performance gaps? What is actually perceived by the customers and then expected by the company, it is not matched. It means that there is a differences. There is a difference. It means that there is a gap. What is the important gaps? What is perceived by the customers is lower than what is expected by the customer. So there will be a problem. And there is a cycle when there is a performance gaps. Yes, and then we have to see more on the operation. So what we can do to make the operation more efficient and more effective. But if there is no performance gaps, then yeah, we have to look at the vision, missions, or we change the directions, we change the vision of the company. Or for instance, we can build a new product, for instance, or we can make a new directions for a company. Yeah. So more detail, a company have a point of view on their side. They call it competitive priorities and capabilities. So what is the differences? So the competitive priorities is talking about the critical dimensions that a process or supply chain must possess to satisfy its internal or external customer both now and in the future. But again, yes, this is the reality. So we call it competitive capabilities. This is the cost, quality, time, and flexibility dimensions that the process or supply chain actually possesses and is able to deliver. But on the customer point of view, they have order winners and also order qualifiers. So what are the differences? So order winners is talking about the criterion the customer use to differentiate the services and product of one firm from those of another. And then also they have the minimum level required from a set of criteria for a firm to do business in a particular market segment. They call it the order qualifiers. That's why customer always comparing. So they're always comparing. So let's say that they have 5 choices or 5 options of coming from 5 different companies. So they will compare according to the order winners. So those who have higher performance and quality, then so that company will be the winner. Okay, that's very complicated. And then these are some examples that talking about the cost, quality, and delivery and flexibility point of view that's related to the order winners and also the order qualifiers. So for instance, low cost operations. Low cost operation, the definition is delivering a service or product at the lowest possible cost, and process must be designed and operated to make them efficient, because this one is according to what the customer wants and the customer expect. So for instance, it's Costco. This is a big supermarket in the US. And also we talk about quality, the top quality. The definition is delivering an outstanding service or product. It might require a high level of customer contact and may require superior product features. So for instance, Rolex. So Rolex, I think, is not price sensitive, but quality is more sensitive. So they have very specific segment that that is very related to the high expectations of quality. And also we have consistent quality. For instance, McDonald's, I think everyone knows McDonald's, right? And delivery speeds, we have Dell. On-time delivery, we have UPS or United Parcel Service. Development speeds, we have Zara. Zara is very famous of model. So they have a very speedy model compared to the competitors. And also we have customizations. For instance, Ritz-Carlton. We have a variety of Amazon.com. So we know that Amazon.com is selling a lot of products, various products around the world. And also volume flexibility. We have the United States Postal Service or USPS. And yes, after we know that order qualifiers and order winners, so if we plot that, or we plot the order qualifier map between sales and the achievement of the company priority. So I think it's in the red line, you see that after a certain point in the threshold, then the sales is not really increasing significantly compared to the order winners, because order winners means that the company wins against the competitors. So the sale will be increasing, so that the company is expected to provide innovations, more efficient, more effective operations. That's why it's very important how to manage the operation. Back to the operation strategy, this also some example according to the quantitative results. So we have a low cost operations. For instance, here, what is the measure is a cost per billing statement, and the capability is certain point, and the gap is target is here. So there is a gap because the target is 0.06 and our capability is 0.08. So there is it is a calling for the company to eliminate microfilm on storage of billing statement. This is one example. It means that to eliminate the non-edit activities. Yes. And also, yeah, this is another example, consistent quality. So what is the measure? It is the percent errors in bill informations, and the capability is 0.9%, and the gap is 0. It means that it is acceptable, so there is no action. And how about the delivery speeds? It's also the same, and also some other example. And what is the trends in operation management? We have productivity. So the productivity is also applied to products and services. It is the value of outputs produced divided by the values of input resources. So the productivity is very simply defined as the output divided by the input. This is the example, and we need to calculate the labor productivity. So 3 employees process 600 insurance policies in a week. So 600 insurance policies in a week is the output. And then they work 8 hours a day and 5 days per week. It is the input. So if we talk about labor productivity, is how to divide the output and the input. The output is talking about the policies processes, and the input is employee hours. So this one is 600 divided by 3 times 40, 3 employees we have, and also 8 times 5, 40 hours per week per employee, and then we have 3 employees. So the labor productivity is 5 policies per hour. It means that we have a target in 1 hour, we have to complete 5 policies or 5 products. And then the second one is to calculate the multi-factor productivity. What is the difference between labor and multi-factor productivity? Multi-factor productivity is talking about how to measure productivity from more than one factor. So this is an example. A team of workers makes 400 of a product which is sold in the market for $10 each. The accounting department reports that for this job, the actual costs are 400 for labors, 1,000 for materials, and 300 for overhead. So if we talk about multi-factor productivity, again, output divided by input. Output is the value of output. So we have 400 units of products and also $10 each. So the value will be 4,000 divided by, because this one is multi-factor, so we have factors of labor, we have factors of materials, and also overhead costs. So this is the calculation for 400 times 10, and then divided by this one, 400 plus 1,000 plus 300, and the result will be 2.35. It means that the output is 2.35 times the input. So it is good because the threshold, the target is 1. It means that there's a balance between output and the input. But if we found 2.something, 2.35, it means that your output is 2.35 times the input. Is good? Yes, this is also one more example about how to calculate labor productivity, year-to-date labor productivity, because we have data from this year, last year, and then year before last. And this is consisting of factory unit sales, employment, sales of manufacturer product, and also the total manufacturing cost of sales. And this one, this year, labor productivity. So you can see from this column, this year productivity, and we have output is 2.7 million divided by 100 the 12,000 employment hours, right? Because we talk about the labor productivity. And also this is for the last year, we use this data. And then next one is we use the year before last, we use this data. And also we can calculate the multi-factor productivity. So for this year, multi-factor productivity, so this one, the 49,363, this is the values of output, and then divided by the cost. Yeah, cost of, we call it input cost, 39,000. Yeah, and next one, this is the last slide. So trends in operation management. We have a global competition, the advantage in increased market penetrations, comparative cost advantage. It means that nowadays it's very difficult to differentiate product coming from this country or overseas, other countries, right? It is called global competition. But the disadvantage that the political risk, lower skilled workers, and vulnerability to supply chain disruption. If you still remember, tsunami or earthquake in Japan, in Fukushima in March 2011, there is disruptions of supply chains because in Fukushima, there are a lot of companies that provides materials. So once they are hit by tsunami, then materials are late and the material cannot be supplied. So all the products around the world is distracted. And then we have trends in ethical, workforce, diversity, and environmental issues. Ethical decision-making in different countries, I think it's about different issues in policy, legal, and etc., and environmental concerns. Nowadays, people are concerning on the environmentally friendly products, and then sustainability initiative. So sustainability, I think, is very famous right now. And also Industry 4.0 is quite related that products that we produce and then deliver to the customers. And there is a responsibility for the company that how to recycle the product, for instance. And it is one of issue in sustainability. Okay, I think that's all for this short introduction in operation management for the lecture 1 in fundamental operation management. There is a short quiz available in ULS, so you can find that quiz, and it is due on next week. Thank you, guys. Have a good day. Stay healthy. Stay safe.